What was Jinnah's favorite breakfast item?
Mysore Pak.
Oh, thank you.
Guys, don't rub it in.
Who once scolded Saurav Ganguly for going out in the middle of a midnight food market and checking out all the kebabs there?
Nagma.
Nagma. No, it was not Nagma who scolded Saurav Ganguly.
Was it his mum?
No, it was not Saurav Ganguly's mum who
It
scolded
was
him.
his mum.
No, wait. If he was looking at kebabs, it was his wife, because Donna Kebab.
Oh, that's a good one. 50 points for that. No, this was during the 2004 India-Pakistan series in Pakistan, and Saurav Ganguly was in his hotel in Lahore, and he wanted to go check out the famous Rawalpindi market in Lahore. He went out in disguise, right? So he wore shades and a beard, and he
And
went
a
out.
He put on a shirt.
He put on a shirt, yes, and he went out for the good food in Lahore, and people recognized him. And somebody asked him, "Hey, are you Saurav Ganguly?" And he said, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Actually, yeah, I'm sure you're not Saurav Ganguly, but you do look a lot like him." And then he ran into the famous Rajdeep Sardesai, who recognized him and said, "Hey, you're Saurav Ganguly, you're Saurav Ganguly." He started shouting, and people started following Ganguly. And then Ganguly had run for his life back to the hotel. Who scolded him after that?
Azharuddin?
Not Azharuddin. 2004.
Or 2004?
The Pakistan Food and Hygiene Standards Department, who kept dropping names for the thing.
Oh, no.
Bishan Singh Bedi, I don't know whether he was around.
Interestingly, Bedi is the Tamil word for diarrhea.
See, it all
We're
matches.
back to diarrhea again.
And Bishon Bedi is like.
Yes.
That's where a tiny noisy dog has diarrhea. Bishon baby.
I'll give you 10 points, I'll give you 100 points for that, yeah. So let me tell you what he said. He said, next time you want to go out, please inform the security and we will have the entourage with you. But please don't indulge in such adventures again.
Anshuman Gaikwad.
No.
Parvez Musharraf.
It was Parvez Musharraf. We'll give you 10 points for that. It was Parvez Musharraf who warned Ganguly against going out like this without any security in Lahore.
Musharraf would know.
If he wasn't so rough, he would have been gentler.
Musharraf.
Thanks for explaining that, I didn't get that.
Women's cleaning.
Funny because his name has both mush and rough in the same.
Yeah.
Mush and rough, yeah.
Speaking of Pakistan cricket and food, think carefully and tell me, what did Imran Khan do with black dal?
Put aloo in it, and that's where Inzamam got his name.
Made them play basketball.
He found a political party which is a dal.
Oh, like a Janta dal.
Akali dal.
Oh, nice.
So let me explain this answer. So Rahim Khan, his second wife, in her autobiography spoke about certain unusual behaviors of Imran Khan, right? Including drug abuse, etc. But one of the most unusual things was the fact that somebody told him that somebody had performed black magic on him and because of which he could not become the Prime Minister of Pakistan until he had bath with black dal, including washing his genitals, right?
Wow.
So
Black lentils matter.
yeah, black lentils matter.
At least was it dal makhani, so it's worth taking a shower, or was it like solid?
really?
I think after that she swore off dal makhni and all kinds of dal.
There's never a dal moment with Imran Khan.
I'll give 20 points for that. So in her autobiography, Rahim Khan, the former wife of Imran Khan, said, "On a day in November, I would walk into the bedroom to find my new husband lying naked on a white sheet, rubbing kali dal all over himself. He laughed in embarrassment as he rubbed them on his genitalia. He then stood up and shook the lentils onto the sheet for Anwar Zaid, the home help, to take away. I stood there in shock. Imran Khan explained that Ahad, his brother-in-law, had brought a man who had recommended the treatment because he believed that someone had done black magic on Imran Khan. I tried to explain to him that this was pretty ridiculous, but since we had been married only for a few days, I didn't voice my opinions too strongly at this bizarre practice."
Well, he did become Prime Minister. actually.
Interestingly, he did become Prime Minister.
Yes.
The dals were.
Yes.
So
Wow.
she was, Rahim Khan was like, Jahan dal dal par soni.
No, she kept crying, wo roti rehti thi.
Pakistani newspapers carried headlines saying Rahm Karo. So, speaking of Pakistan, Pakistan literally means the land of the pure, right? And was founded by Muhammad Ali Jinnah as a Muslim state to uphold Islamic values and shun all things haram. In this context, what was Jinnah's favorite breakfast item?
Mysore Pak.
It was not Mysore Pak.
We all think that Jinnah named Pakistan because it means all things pure or Pak. But actually it's not that. Jinnah named it after his favorite breakfast thing, which was pork. So he wanted to name it something
Porkistan.
like Porkistan.
Porkistan.
And Pak was close, so he named it.
Spoken like a true Bengali.
Everything is a no.
Just a random guess. Is cornflakes?
No, it's not
Because
cornflakes.
cornflakes were invented to be to prevent people from masturbating. Kellogg's invented cornflakes thinking that it prevents kids from masturbating.
Well, more interestingly, because eating it makes a sound.
That you can hide. So Kellogg's, I don't know if he started the institute first or the breakfast cereal first, but he invented cornflakes with the idea that, at least he marketed it with the idea that it'll prevent kids from masturbating and doing unholy things.
What was the logic behind it?
So it's like if your testicles look like the original corn, if you have it, it'll just become shrivel and. I mean, the very thought of that should deter you.
I like how Ajit sort of elevates this conversation.
Thank you guys for putting such delightful visions in our heads.
No, I'm
Oh,
going to
this is
give
coming
100
from somebody who loves dysentery.
So I'm going to give 100 points to Abhijit for that interesting story. You're absolutely right. When John Kellogg started off, creating the cornflakes, he also was involved in creating a workshop for people who wanted to get healthier. And in one of those workshops, he also barred masturbation, right? And this was during the time when Catholicism was getting popular and they had to find different ways of making it more popular. So one of the ways they felt was that masturbation and sex is actually the ways of the devil, right? So they tried to say that you can become a better Christian by not masturbating. And there's interestingly a Matthew Broderick movie, I think, which is about his adventures in this sort of a clinic. And apart from creating cornflakes, he also created anti-masturbation clinic. But that is not the right answer. Jinnah had nothing to do with masturbation.
Saying don't masturbate during a workshop, that's generally good advice.
Guys, don't rub it in.
Otherwise, they call it a joke shop.
But I am going to give 10 points to Shershi. You're absolutely right. Jinnah's favorite food during breakfast was pork sausages. He used to love ham sandwiches and pork sausages.
He was also very fond of his genitals.
I'll give 5 points for that. Genitals.
Did he rub dal in it? Like black dal?
But he didn't become a prime minister.
It's common between all prime ministers.
I think he used to rub mangoes. Right mango.
Given by the foreign minister, sir. Here, please rub.
All Chairman Mao's mangoes are delivered directly to That's the start of China-Pakistan relations.
Horrible.
Speaking of prime ministers and interesting food, what does Narendra Modi eat that costs 80,000 rupees for each meal?
The dreams of Indians.
The dreams of Indians. For every piece of that particular food
Sattu
item-
paratha.
Not sattu paratha.
1,000 island dressing.
1,000 islanders. So this was actually a rumor. So during the Gujarat elections in 2018, one of the Congress candidates said that accused Modi of eating something that's very expensive. Interestingly, worldwide, the most expensive food item is of the same family.
So that would be saffron. Right?
Not saffron.
Modi saffron makes sense.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
I'll give 50 points for that. Yeah, saffron and Modi would make sense.
Is it a type of mango?
It's not a type of mango.
Can it be poisonous?
It could be.
One may hope.
Is it black dal from a certain species?
No, it's not black dal. Rubbed on Imran Khan's genitals.
I didn't say that.
Is it like,
Fostering help for Indo-Pak relations.
is it a gold-plated mushroom or something like that? A truffle, gold-plated truffle.
Oh, I was going to say truffle,
Yeah, I'll give 100 points for that. Narendra Modi's favorite food supposedly are 80,000 rupees worth of mushrooms imported from Taiwan. Interestingly, the most expensive food in the world is claimed to be truffles, which is another form of mushrooms, and they're rare and they're very, very expensive. Alpesh Thakur, a Congress candidate in the Gujarat elections, claimed that Modi ji eats mushrooms from Taiwan. Each mushroom costs 80,000 rupees and he eats 5 mushrooms a day. And because of this, he has become fair. Right? So Alpesh Thakur said that Narendra Modi used to be dark like me, but has now become fair because he eats imported mushrooms.
But his actions are unfair.
How do you get 56 inches only on a diet of mushrooms?
Lots of push-ups.
Stuffs them in.
So we'll come back to Bengalis. For some reason, we love Bengalis in this show.
We do.
In what way is Satyajit Ray like pizza?
He makes slice of life movies.
He
I'll
had,
give 50 points for that. That's a really good point.
no, he had movies that could be a little cheesy. They were very meaty in their subject matter. They could be non-vegetarian or vegetarian.
Or he was the upper crust of the.
Here's the upper crust.
And they were peppered with a lot of spice. That's
Does it
why.
have to do with like a life of pi or something?
So let me tell you, pizza originally wasn't popular in Italy.
In Italy. It was popularized in New York, right?
Okay.
First, by the Italian community that went there. So this is something like Satyajit Ray was not popular in Bengal or in India, and he was popularized because of people watching his movies abroad.
Oh, is
I'll
that
give you
how
100
the
points for
phrase? Hey, you want a piece of me?
The famous Satyajit movie Rocky.
I'll give you 100 points for that. You're absolutely right. There's something known as the pizza effect, where essentially you talk about how something wasn't popular in the country of origin, but became popular in a foreign country and then comes back to the original country and becomes popular again. So pizza wasn't really a popular dish in Italy. It used to be eaten by the lower class immigrants, and those immigrants sort of moved to United States and made pizza popular, and that's when pizza came back as a quintessential Italian dish. This theory was first propounded by an Hindu monk and professor of anthropology. He spoke about the pizza effect, giving examples of Satyajit Ray and yoga. He said that Ray wasn't really popular in India. Nobody appreciated his films. It was only when he went to international film festivals that people sort of...
Frida Pinto.
Frida Pinto is another example.
By the way, there was a really interesting quote since you mentioned yoga. Gwyneth Paltrow a couple of weeks ago said that yoga would not have had a renaissance in the US and particularly in California if Gwyneth Paltrow hadn't brought it to attention in the 90s. She actually made that statement.
For some reason, I thought pizza effect was like converting every damn thing into pizza. It's like dosa pizza, birizza,
That place in
whatever.
Bombay probably does it.
Yeah, but I'm very sure. It's like putting some shit on pizza, which is why in Tamil it will be pizza because P is shit in Tamil and shit. One random shit.
I thought
They
pizza
convert
effect was
into-
like Domino's effect.
Nice.
If any of you have seen this film, Tamil film called Kaka Muttai,
Yes. A
where's
beautiful
this
movie.
Tamil party who makes the child in the film wants to have pizza and they can't afford pizza. So his party makes dosa and puts capsicum and onion and cheese on it to make it look like pizza, and the child is very happy. It's one of those beautiful moments in the
It's
film.
a slice of life movie.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Tamil movie called Pizza?
There is.
There is,
Tamil
yes.
movie.
It's a thriller apparently.
But interestingly, that movie is a horror film and has not. It's only about a piece of delivery guy somewhere coming somewhere. Other than that, there's no good scenes of good food anywhere.
It has not become popular anywhere, so clearly pizza effect hasn't hit the pizza movie.
So the thing is, the director who makes that movie, those movies, and he's made a point that all his movies will have names of delicacies. So pizza is one. Then the other movie was Jigardanda.
That's right.
Oh.
What is Jigardanda?
Thank you. So I am from Madurai, so I am very proud to say it's not a drink from Madurai. It's a very interesting Turkish dessert drink which is found in Madurai because at one point of time the ruling family they wanted a huge castle for themselves, and that was when the Thirumalai Nayakar Mahal, a palace, was built. But they really liked the Saracen and the the more Turkish architecture. So they brought down lots of Turkish architects and engineers, and the families themselves moved into Madurai. Madurai is really hot. So one of the things that became famous was this drink they made called Jigardanda, which we call Jigardanda, but which means cold heart because it's supposed to cool down your heart. And
So
it's
cold-hearted also.
yeah, very cold heart. So it's basically a plasma type drink which is half solid, half liquid, which has got milk, which has got sometimes rose essence, it's got lots of different sweet things in the middle, and then people just gulp it down for
Plasma type really sold me on it. I absolutely want to eat it.
yeah, it is really good. It's very famous, and the most famous version of it is called Famous Jigardanda, and everybody in Madurai is like, no, we are the ones who have the famous Jigardanda. So
Just out of curiosity, how did they zero in on Turkey? I mean, it's not like they had mobile phone. Let's Google architecture and you'll have picture of Turkish architecture or whatever architecture.
the story is that one of their foreign ministers was on tour somewhere and he said, I love this type of architecture. This is what we need back in Madurai.
Back
And
then also politicians did touring only. Useless people.
Thank you, Bertie, for that. I'll give you 200 points for that history lesson. Moving on from pizzas and Satyajit Ray to beards of Muslim saints.
Whoa.
What in Indian cuisine do we get from the beard of a Muslim saint who traveled from Yemen to India?
Budi Kabal.
Spaghetti.
Sorry?
Budi Kabal.
Can you explain what that is?
It's this sweet that
Are you abusing me, Shilpa? I'm sorry if I've been mean to you.
So Budi ka bal is this sweet where the texture actually looks like old woman's hair. That's where the
Oh, really?
yeah. The term Budi ka bal, it means old woman's hair. The texture of the sweet
Head
is
hair.
head hair.
One can
So
have.
we don't know that.
Yeah, one
we
can
don't
have.
know that. The cotton candy has the same texture as old woman's hair, and that's where the term Budi ka bal comes from. So.
It actually comes from Cotton Kanti, who was a
Like Silk Smita, cotton candy.
That's where the name of the chocolate comes from.
Silk.
Silk, oh. Cadbury silk, yeah.
Is it Rum Baba?
Rum baba is basically like a yeasted bread. It's sweet and it's dunked in syrup which has some rum in it. That's why it's called baba or rum. Wow. So that's the etymology.
Oh,
of
is
the
that
recipe.
what it is?
Like
Baba
Baba
Ramdev.
That's why you call, no, that's why you call the
Baba Ramdev, yes.
That's why you call the Muslim saint. You call him to drink. So then he pulls an Imran Khan and a Jinnah and he likes to drink and eat his pork. So he says, Baba, aao rum. And that's how the dessert got it.
Isn't there a hill or mountain in Karnataka
Baba
called Baba
Budan.
Budangiri?
yeah.
Okay.
And I vaguely
Coffee,
remember that it's
Baba
named
Budan was
after
who
this
introduced-
guy called
Baba-
saint called Baba Budan. And he, I think, traveled to India from one of the Middle Eastern.
Yes.
He must have got coffee to India.
He did. He brought
did, right?
3
Yeah.
beans.
No,
it's called.
7.
Seven?
That was a magical
Usne
number.
काफी beans लाए.
Oh, okay.
they let him, the story goes that he chose the number 7 because that is a holy number, and that if he was stopped by his own people, he can say, I'm bringing 7 beans, so it's now a part of a ritual, religious ritual, so they can't do anything. And
Because
that's that.
7 is Yelo in Kannada, which is also wake up, which is when you drink
Okay, as a lover of South Indian filtered coffee, I will just say that Baba Budan was a good human being.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag no filter.
How messed up.
Hashtag yes filter. So yeah, so there's this hill in Chikmagalur from where the entire industry started. Then we have the Arabica. Then eventually we found a genetic variant called Robusta, which is more robust, hence the name. And that's where the entire coffee culture from India started. Yeah.
CCD started.
So he brought Arabica beans and probably smuggled through his beard, but since they were able to withstand the microbial hazards, it became more robusta.
It's like civet cat coffee.
Yeah.
So for the,
Coffee interesting.
So I'm very impressed with all of you. I'm going to give 100 points to each and every one of you. Right? You're absolutely right. Coffee in India originates from the story of Baba Budan, who was a Muslim saint who was loved by Hindus and Muslims together. And he went to Yemen, and that point of time, coffee was only available in Yemen, and it was forbidden for coffee beans to be imported or exported anywhere else, right? So it had to be roasted or ground for it to be taken anywhere else. So he hid 7 beans in his beard, supposedly, and brought it back to Chikmagalur, and he started the coffee plantations there, from where you get Coffee Day and CCDs and so on. And that's how coffee in India originated from. Moving on to something more international, when the Indian Navy purchased the Russian aircraft carrier Admiral Gorshkov, as it was called, the Indians not just changed the name to Vikramaditya, they also added one important machinery in the kitchen. What do you think the machinery was? So a group of engineers from Bangalore went to Russia to install 6 machines in that particular kitchen. What do you
Look
think?
what
the
a group of engineers.
Filter coffee machine.
Not filter coffee machine.
It was a dosa maker.
I'll give you 100 points. It was a dosa and idli making machine. There were 6 idli making machines and 3 dosa making machines. They felt this was an important component of a particular naval ship that should serve Indian soldiers. In fact, there are 12 ships in the Indian Navy that have dosa making or idli making machines installed in them.
So you know wet grinders are the primary ones which are being used, right? So there's only one town in India which essentially manufactures around almost 100% of all wet grinders. And apparently at a point of time till the early 1980s, that was India's only export item which was
Are
technically
they
made in.
V-Guard wet grinders?
No, this Coimbatore primarily, but wet grinders primarily. They are the only source of wet grinders all across India and everywhere else. I know why.
They have a GI tag, right? Coimbatore wet grinder is a GI tag.
Oh, is that a GI tag?
It's a GI tag.
I'll give 50 points for knowing that. Yeah. So let's play a simple game. I'm going to mention the name of a particular food or a vegetable or a fruit or a dish. You need to raise the Indian flag or hoist your Indian flag, if you will, if you think it's of Indian origin. And if not, raise the flag still, but tell me where it's originally from. Let's start with a simple one, idli.
Guys, pick up your.
So I saw Bertie hoisting his flag first.
Yes.
Yes, Bertie.
So I think it's not Indian.
you think it's not Indian. You can't just do that. You have to tell us which country it's originally from.
I think it's from Italy. So people they say, oh, that's the thing from Italy, and eventually became
With the
Italy.
South Indian accent, Italy became Italy.
Thambi, Italy pa. Oh.
I think Brian Adams brought it from America when he came with Sambar of 69.
I'll give 5 points, but it's not the right answer. Anybody else?
It's actually it's not from India, but it's from the Indonesia / Vietnam. I'm not very sure about it because that's where the whole idea of making a batter with rice and urad dal, which will kind of ferment, and then steamed cakes came into existence to begin with.
I'll give you 100/50 points for that. You're absolutely right. It is from Indonesia.
I hope it's not 100 by 50. So it's like 100 or 50.
No, it is from Indonesia originally. Idli is from Indonesia and it's not an Indian dish. Let's move on. Dal bhat.
Thank you.
Thailand. Because Bhat.
No, it's not from Thailand.
Mahesh Bhatt.
Which country? The country of Mahesh Bhatt.
Yeah.
In
Anybody
Hazard,
else?
I guess, and say Afghanistan or somewhere in the Central Asian Republic.
No, it's not from Afghanistan. So it's definitely not Indian as we think it is. Think of another Hindu country.
Sri Lanka.
Nepal.
Nepal.
Nepal is right. Dal bhat is originally
Sri Lanka
from
is
Nepal
Buddhist.
and it's not an Indian dish.
Sri Lanka is Buddhist.
Next, Rajma.
I think it's Indian. Very much.
You'll get -500 for that.
Ouch.
I think Rajma is Afghanistan.
It's a different continent altogether.
I think Rajma is Mexican. They used to use.
Yes.
I'll give you 100 points for that. Because kidney beans or Rajma is actually from
Correct.
South America.
Right.
Mexico being one of the countries.
Right.
Like Mexico being one of the
Technically, though, Mexico is not America. Mexico, Canada, and US are not.
That's
America.
actually true.
Is that true? We'll edit that out in the.
Well, I thought with the name like Rajma, it should be Indian. But by the way, this looks in a different angle if you show it like a Mexican flag. Do I get points?
Oh, no.
No, it's like in Tamil, na, Raj, naam to suna hoga ma.
No, to be fair, my mom actually had a house help when she was a kid, and her name was Rajamma. And my mom's constant joke was that every time she made kidney beans, right, Rajamma made Rajma.
Right.
Next, Vindaloo.
Vindaloo
Portuguese.
Not Indian. Oh, okay.
Does it have anything to do with aloo, Shirshi?
It has nothing to do with aloo, but you can. The mutton biryani must have an aloo, and Calcutta biryani does.
That's the starch reality. Oh. Because you really need aloo after you eat it.
Well, it was Vin Diesel's favorite food. That's why it's called Vin aloo. Yeah.
Or like you break wind. So
I was
wind
just thinking that.
So Vindaloo comes from wine and ginger, which is the Portuguese words, and that's what Vindaloo means, right? Let's go to something more basic. Rice.
It's from China.
I would
100 points to you. It is from China, right?
Yes.
The origins of rice come from a certain valley in southern China. That's where rice originated from and came to the Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand region, and that's how we get rice in India. Chai.
Oh,
Bengalis should get this.
No, it's actually. So, in reality, the origin is kind of controversial. It originated in China,
Okay.
but it's around that valley where China meets India. So
But
the
it's
origin
China.
is Chinese, exactly.
China.
Wasn't it originally called Sai?
Thank you. I'll give you 100 points for
Are
that.
you referring to it?
Sai?
Chai and tea originally come from China, right? Can you tell me two other things in Hindi that refer to the fact they originate from China?
Chini.
One is sugar or chini, right? Sugar originally means
Don't you
sugar.
get points?
Gobi Manchurian.
So you get 50 points. Tell us about gobi manchurian.
Like go be Manchurian.
And then an angry Kannadiga.
Only thing I know about
mother
Gobi
told her
Manchurian
family.
is that when I take to my girlfriend out for a date, that I can get it for her and she'll be very happy. Other than that, I don't know anything else about it.
So you're absolutely right. Chini. Oh, the name chini comes from
No Tudor.
Oh, not the fact that sugar originated from the southern China part, which was imported to Bengal and other parts of eastern India. Anything else in Hindi that means chini or from China? Have you ever come across dal chini? Cinnamon, right? So cinnamon means dal chini in Hindi because it
Chinaman
means
became cinnamon.
That's a horrible term. Don't use it anymore.
Oh, and the peanut, the humble peanut, in Bengali is called the chine badam. So the Chinese nut.
Oh, is that what it
Yes,
is?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really tiny.
Badam.
The last dish, chicken tikka masala.
So that's from the UK. I think it's from Scotland.
Okay.
Where they took chicken tikka, because I just got into a Reddit argument about this recently. That's
Oh,
why I'm
really?
so sure. So
Please
chicken,
tell us about your Reddit argument.
So someone claimed that chicken tikka is from India, and I was like, I'm an Indian, I don't know. And then a lot of people, as is common on the internet, they corrected me and they gave me all the facts. So chicken tikka was from Punjab, but chicken tikka masala was first made by a bartender, I think in Scotland, I think in Edinburgh,
Okay.
if I'm not wrong.
I'll give you 100 points for that. It's actually from Glasgow.
Glasgow,
It's
yes,
an urban legend, so you never know where it's really from, but it's definitely from Scotland. An Englishman walked into a restaurant and asked for chicken tikka with a curry. And they made a gravy out of it, and that's how chicken tikka masala originated from Glasgow in Scotland and not from India.
Fun fact, when English people actually want to have Indian food for takeaway, they will literally be pissed drunk and tell you, I'd like to have an Indian, please. So you never know what they really mean. And I'm not kidding.
Wow.
It won most UK food, like food of the year for 2 years.
right?
3 years
It's
in a row.
almost like a-
and cost a huge ruckus in England.
Fun thing, the Bangladeshi restaurants there actually serve you something called balti, which sounds super appetizing. Just sounds like somebody puked in a bucket and said, here you go, balti. Balti
It's called
restaurant.
the Balti cuisine. Yeah.
It's not good.
Interestingly, speaking of white man's stupid thing that they say, or the stupid thing that white men say, in a lot of European countries, they refer to any spicy curry as a Madras curry. Right, so there's something called a Madras curry paste, which just refers to a generic blend of Indian garam masala and few other spices, and anything that's spicy is called a Madras curry.
Right.
So similarly, I mean, again, to come back to that point that we had spoken about, like here when we say Szechuan, it's spicy. It's considered spicy. So it's, it's done all over.
Also, whatever we think of Szechuan is not really.
Yeah, it isn't. It's like Indianized.
Any Indian who loves Chinese food and actually goes to China, anywhere in
In for a
China,
shock.
they come back still recovering from that shock. Because
And
it
that's
tastes
what
nothing
leads to
like-
dysentery.
That Szechuan, does that have anything to do with like the Sichuan province?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
region was
Sichuan.
known.
Sichuan, yeah.
Sichuan, Szechuan.
Right. Okay.
And then in
okay.
India, Szechuan.
Ah.
And as they say, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching India Wants to Know. As Imran Khan told his wife, like, comment and share below. Do tell us what you thought of this particular episode. We would like to recommend K.T. Achaya's wonderful works on Indian food. One of them being The Story of Our Food and the other Historical Dictionary of Indian Food. We would also like to recommend by Colleen Taylor Sen a book called Feasts and Fasts, A History of Food in India. Veer Sanghvi's column and work called Rude Food, and a wonderful documentary series on Netflix called Raja Rasoi or Anya Kahaniyan. Thank you all for participating in today's episode, and we hope you liked it as well.
Thanks for watching India Wants to Know, India's first panel quiz show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to get notified about our latest episodes.
आज ही सब्सक्राइब कीजिए southbay.live